once again, everyone. It's Ed here, coming to you from Cloud What. All right, so yeah, like I said, I'm going to stay away from the deep negative stuff. Go back to my original stuff, and well, some of my original stuff was the Mandela effect, and actually, I am going to touch a bit on some recent news as far as what's going on, as far as Trump, the war, and everything else, because it all does tie together. I'm not going to dwell on topics that are going on too deeply in the whole Q phenomenon and everything else, but I'm going to kind of draw information from it to make points. So we're going to be doing a quick series of videos here tying in basically the Mandela effect. And tying into the Mandela effect, we're going to tie in recent UFO activity. We're going to tie in the current war going on between Trump, the Trump Q team, and the deep state team. We're going to talk about those as well and how they tie into the whole thing. And we're going to talk about the event and how everything that we're discussing ties into the event. And this is going to be a series of videos. I'm going to start today. I don't know how many I'm going to get done today, but we're going to basically touch on a bunch of different topics that are often looked at as separate things, but they all kind of interconnect. And I'm hoping to be able to show that. I'm not always the best at explaining myself and my theories, so hopefully this comes through and you guys are able to understand and grasp what I'm talking about and follow along. But as you can see here, we're going to start with some pictures. And this is the Mandela effect, and today's video is about the Mandela effect, and well, not necessarily just today's video, because I may do more than one today, but anyway, this one is about the Mandela effect and how it's going to link into the event. So if any of you have come across the Mandela effect, and I know many people have, the Mandela effect is one of those things where things in our reality change. One of the main reasons it's called the Mandela effect is because people like myself and many others remember Nelson Mandela dying, back when we were young, in the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember exactly when he died for me, but I do remember it was when I was in that era of like around 20 years of age. I was out of high school and all that, so it was somewhere in that area. And he died in prison for me, not for everybody else. It's one of those things that different people are having different experiences with it, and even people who experience the Mandela effect, not everybody has Nelson Mandela being affected with it. Some people don't remember Nelson Mandela dying back then, but they do remember other Mandela effects. A lot of them are simple spellings. Other things are more shocking, but it has basically infused itself into every single part of our lives. It doesn't matter if it's because you're religious and you've noticed that the Bible has changed, or maybe you're you're a mother and you do a lot of shopping and your brand products on the shelves have changed. And much like my wife, you just attributed it to, well, they changed their logo, only to find out later that no, that's how it's always been, and you remember it different ways. Another one that, like, my wife remembers the Sinbad movie where he was a genie. I don't remember it, and many people don't remember it, but she does, and that's one of those Mandela effects that's small. But if you have been following any information on the wave or the event, and if you haven't, I do recommend looking it up, because like I said, that's what this series of videos is going to try and tie all this together. And you look into the information of the wave. The wave is supposed to be this like energy wall that's coming towards us, and it's kind of a lot of people describe it as a shimmering rainbow, a wall of colorful light. Many different explanations of what it looks like, and they've been if you've been following what's going on in in our world. You know they've been chemtrailing the shit out of our skies to kind of block what's going on up there. And it's very possible there could be something coming in that they're blocking us being able to see. And the reason I brought up, this page here is because, like, this is one of those things that, is this because of the chemtrails they're putting in the clouds that's causing this? Or is it because of this energy wave, the rainbow wave that is coming in that's causing this effect? Because it's not just the clouds that are having this. And chemtrails, could be causing this. It could be causing the light to reflect this way and causing the effect. But it doesn't mean it is. We only know so much about the chemtrails. We don't know everything they're doing. We know they're using it to help their Agenda 21 depopulation, because most of what's in it is polluting us and killing us and causing all kinds of health issues. And according to them, they're using it to block the heat, because of global warming, which everybody is pretty much aware of. Currently, we're moving into global cooling. There is not currently global warming going on. We're moving into a global cooling. So, I mean, who knows what the real reason for the chemtrails are, but if it is them trying to hide this energy wave coming in, is that what's possibly showing in, some of these cloud formations that are showing clouds with, the rainbow patterns in it. And like I said, it's not the only thing that's doing it, because we also have rainbow colored trees now. And these things are very colorful rainbow trees. And I've been around the world because I grew up in the military, and I'm pretty sure I would have known about these damn trees. And I definitely would have known about these mountains. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in our environment that are happening. There's other rainbow effects going on. Like there's a fish. He's actually not a Mandela effect. I've known about him since I was about 5 years old, which was like, well, okay, maybe not 5, but when I was a kid, because it was one of the tropical fish that I wanted to have in our fish tank. But it was a saltwater fish, and it couldn't have it. But it was a type of goby. It's a rainbow goby, and he's really cool looking, and he's rainbow. But he's existed for a long time. So the point is, there's all kinds of stuff going on. And it's the Mandela effect is happening not just, with colors and stuff. Like I said, I just wanted to show that as something, but it's happening in Bible verses, Monopoly. Like I said, products, even kids' stuff is changing. And our 13-year-old son has realized, hey, this isn't the same as it was. Now, is this, and this is where we're going to start tying all this into the event and the wave that, in my opinion, is coming. Is all this happening with the Mandela effect and what's going on and all these changes nothing but something that's happening in every aspect of our lives, so that everybody realizes it's happening, at least those who are awake? Because there's still a lot of people out there who sit there and say, oh, the Mandela effect is fake, it doesn't happen. Well, I have theories on that. I want to think of them as one of two things. Either they have not waking up yet, and they're still a brainwashed Muppet sheeple. And anybody that's watched my video knows I like to call them Muppet sheeple. Either they're still one of those, or a term that other people have been coming out with, and it does seem to kind of fit, is they're a blank. Is they don't even truly exist, they're just a product of the construct. Because what the Mandela effect is showing us in many different ways is that our reality is flexible, it's fluid, it changes, it is not set in stone. This should be the wake-up call for a whole bunch of people out there saying, hey, look, reality is not what you think, it's fluid. You can interact with it, you can change it, it can be altered, things can be changed. Because anybody who's experienced the Mandela effect, with one effect where they're like, no, I know that one was the other way, and it's changed now, can say, well, or are saying, How is this possible? What's going on? Why, how, what, you know? And it causes panic to a lot of people who just wake up to it. I mean, when I first found it, I spent like 3 days researching nothing but the Mandela effect, and it drove me nuts. What's going on, you know? And now it's, you know, I've come to a different understanding about it. And it's, if you go and you start researching the wave and the event, you'll start finding out that they literally discuss the Mandela effect. And according to, you know, the higher entities, organisms, whatever on the other side there, they're basically telling us that this is, you know, them having fun, showing us that our reality is not what we think it is. This is basic proof of that. This understanding that the Mandela effect is supposed to wake up everybody. This is it's supposed to be the catalyst in my, well, and again, this is my opinion, people, but in my opinion, it's the catalyst. It's supposed to wake people up. It's supposed to make people do some research, much like the Q phenomenon. It makes people look at things, research things, such as many people who have been following the Q phenomenon have recently, over the past couple months, since the bomb dropping of the JFK files, have been awakened to the Mandela effect, because a lot of people hadn't been looking at the JFK thing for a while, and then all of a sudden, when they, you know, are, because now they're following the Q phenomenon, and, you know, the JFK file drop came, and we found out, well, now the car has 3 rows of seats instead of 2. And that woke up a lot of people right there, just to, hey, what's going on? I don't remember this. And then they looked into it and found out the Mandela effect. Which is why, again, I think, you know, in my opinion, the Mandela effect is supposed to be the catalyst to help wake everyone up. It's supposed to make you realize, hey, there's something about our reality that isn't what they're telling us. Because they'll tell you, and this is the deep state, this is what's going on. We are waking up. This is them losing control of the grid. They have been in control. They have had you believing forever, since you've been born, since our parents have been born, so for at least a couple thousand years, that time is linear. It starts and it ends. Nothing can change what happened in the past, or the, you know, and what you do now affects the future, but, you know, the future can't affect the past. And that's not the case. The Mandela effect is proving this. The Mandela effect is proving that what we thought was fact and unchangeable is very fluid. I mean, you're having all these things. I mean, and there's thousands of Mandela effects. Thousands. Anybody who still, you know, goes and looks at the Mandela effect and actually does enough looking to go through enough of them to say, you know, I don't have any effect of any of these. Well, like I said, in my mind and in my opinion, they're either still a Muppet Sheeple person or they're a blank, which means that they're not real. They're here as part of the construct. If you're watching this video and that's you, well, you have a choice. You can either try and wake up, or guess what? You're still part of the construct. Now, there is also evidence and information out there that points that the Mandela effect is happening to, you know, those who are awakened, and that the people who are part of the construct, you know, the blanks, can, by waking up, become real. So if you're a blank, or if you feel you might be a blank, guess what? There's hope for you. You could become a full-fledged soul. This is what is being told about. You are an artificial intelligent life form created in an environment, and you've become self-aware. You've created your own energy, your own soul. You've become conscious, and that is, according to some of what's going on, is what is happening currently in our world. The Mandela effect is a way for people to see whether they're awake or not, and for those who, if they're not awake, can try to wake up, or it will help to try to wake them up. And for those who are not yet of a soul group, that this can bring them into a full soul group. But you have to actually notice the effect. If you're not noticing the effect, then it pretty much means you're part of the construct, or you're, like I said, completely asleep. It's kind of like the Matrix, you know, take the blue pill, the red pill. Many of us have taken the red pill. A lot of people have taken the red pill. If you're still a blue pill person, I suggest switching over to the red pill and waking up, because with the war that's coming on, and with the effect that's coming on, and with the wave and the shift that's coming on, you're going to want to be awake. So if you're not, it's going to be a really bumper ride for you. So that's where I'm going to leave this video for now. Like I said, I just wanted to give a little bit of information so that you all can go out there and do all this work for yourself. This is, again, something I'm doing on my channel. I am going to start posting some QHHT sessions when I do them, and notes on those sessions. But as far as research, I'm going to point you in the right direction, give you some information and some leads, and try and connect some dots for you. But I'm not going to go through the entire thing point by point and making it a class, seminar, or anything else. I will give you the information, tell you where to go look to find the information, and lead you in the right direction. And it's up to you to go out and find that information, be discerning, find out what speaks to you, and to move forward. Like I said, if you are awake, you have noticed the Mandela effect in one way or the other. You may not believe in, you know, some of the theories of the Mandela effect, but if you've even had an inkling that, you know, any of it, you know, such as Jiffy peanut butter, Jiffy has never been Jiffy peanut butter. It's always been Jif. So if you think it was a one-time Jiffy and became Jif, like I said, a lot of things you think were just brand changes or, you know, changes in logos were actually supposedly always that way. The alternates have never existed in this reality. So, you know, definitely something you're going to want to research if, you know, that is what's going on, or if you have an inkling that there might be something going on. Do the research, find the information, see if you're awake. Because from what I can see and from what I've seen on the internet, the interwebs, and talking with friends and family and people around, and I have family members who are either completely asleep or blank, and this is gonna, like I said, it's gonna scare and upset and piss off some people, you know, that hear this, but it is what it is. And everybody I've talked to, the people who are blank literally seem blank. You talk to them about, you know, not just the Mandela effect stuff, but yeah, you know, you ask them about stuff like the Constitution, and they're the ones that are, oh, it's outdated, it needs to be getting rid of. They're the ones that are so asleep that they don't even see that our world is in trouble. They think everything's fine and hunky-dory, and that the world is just going to keep rolling on the way it is. So, you know, most of them were Hillary supporters too. Although some Hillary supporters have woken up since then, and a lot of them are still waking up. So, not everybody that was a Hillary supporter is a sheeple muppet, but they were definitely leaning that way. Till next time, I'm out. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm out.